so you came through this airport a couple days ago, right? Yeah. Well, the zipper on your carry-on bag, it must have been left open because when the plane landed, there were 400 of these all around the runway. I felt terrible because like my name's on it, I'm littering, and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. Like, do you need help cleaning them up? Like, I feel so bad. No, it's cool. We're using them. For what? And he says, oh, we just got a new general manager. His name is Scott, and he doesn't have any friends. Oh, that's great. What is your name tag? What is it that you do that makes your work stick? What Hal answered, this is going to fall over. The question that Hal answered was, what is your unique way of interacting with the world? What are you known for in the way that you engage with people? And I've thought about what happened at that moment, and here's what occurred to me. There is never a shortage of competence. What's scarce and therefore valuable and remarkable is your company's monopoly on a story and a set of expectations that's worth remembering and spreading. It's not about the policy, it's about the what? The people. So what is your version of this? I'm sure everyone is familiar with the Google auto insurance comparison. I spent some time this week looking at it because this is the big thing in the auto insurance world. And when I was looking at it, I had two thoughts. Number one, like, okay, this isn't the most innovative thing the world has ever seen. Progressive started doing comparison years ago, and it's a great site. And then I thought, well, what is it really? It's an invitation for everyone in this room to become known for your unique way of interacting. It's a realization that you're not a lead generator, you're a human being who delivers a constant stream of education. You are not agents, but trusted resources who provide insight and understanding that you can't Google. Have you ever tried to Google perspective? It doesn't work. Like the Google auto comparison site, it's great, it's practical. Doesn't mean it's personal. It's information, doesn't mean it's insight. And your challenge is to fill that gap. Now, every industry goes through this. Let me share with you an example from a completely unrelated industry that has the same challenge. A friend of mine has this theory, and I'll tell you a little bit more about Mark. Mark talks about converting moments of invisible labor into acts of inescapable service. And what I learned from him is that anyone in the service industry, that's all of us, if it's a commodity industry, right, if people are kind of buying on price, there has to be something that we can do to differentiate ourselves based on service. So I'm a writer. If I'm not giving a presentation or doing something at a client, I write all day. This is my job. On the train or the bus, on the wall, on the floor. I write books, I write music, I write movies. This is what I do. So that's my to-do list. That would actually work in an insurance office, wouldn't it? The question is, what is your invisible labor? So I brought a couple books, and this particular book has a cover that's blank, so I can write something on it. So I wrote on this book, "Insurance is Sexy." Does anybody want it? Okay, cool. His hand came up first. I'm not going to launch it because I'll cut somebody, but pass it on back. Everybody touch it, look at it, buy it later. And what I learned about writing books is that the book, that's like 10%, but no one sees that, and it bothered me. When you work hard on something and no one sees the invisible labor, how do you demonstrate the value? So I thought, what if I could create time-lapse videos of my own screen as I'm writing? And so I started putting these videos together that essentially took a piece of software that captures by video what you're doing on your computer. And by doing it, it demonstrates to people, oh, this is actually what a writer does all day. And so it's about 7 hours of writing compressed down into one video. This is the problem with using video in presentations, is that they never work, so screw it. And what I did is I made a website that takes all of these. I think it might be locked down. If you want to close it down and open it back up, we'll give it a try. So I started making these time-lapse videos, and I bought a URL called watchscottwrite.com. Again, as kind of a joke, just to see what would happen. And so go down right below. There it goes, hallelujah. So this is the time-lapse video so people can see what the heck I do all day. And what I did is I started putting out a series of videos on YouTube and kicking them out to my platform to demonstrate, yeah, this is actually what I do. And the response was so overwhelming because it's a moment that no one sees. And so each one of you can take the service you provide. You can find a way to be unique and personal and creatively and sort of substantiate it. The work that you do every day, you can make it graphic and you can have an understanding to amplify the work that you do. Now, my friend Mark works in residential landscaping. And what's cool about what he does is that the work that his crew puts in every day, nobody sees it. And so what Mark does, every time he has a new client, he sets up a private Instagram account just for the family. And he sends them the login and the password. And the parents and the kids, for the next 2 or 3 weeks while they're working on their home, will get video and image updates all day. And all he has to do is show up once a day at the job site, get a few pictures, do a couple videos, and the family can see their house becoming more beautiful. And the parents are, look at the work they're doing on our house. Isn't that great? Oh, really? Who hired you? Oh, let me tell you all about this landscaping company. That's a moment. And all they had to do was use a free piece of software. All they had to do was take the invisible labor and make it powerful. So I'm challenging each of you to memorialize your method, to think about your service that you can brand and publicize not just the what, but the how, the invisible work that you do. If you guys are still with me, let me hear you say, cool. This is the big goal, right? We want to love our jobs. And it's hard. Sometimes we have those days where we don't love it. So I figured out maybe a couple years ago that if we are to love our jobs, we need to remind ourselves why we love our jobs. So I'm big on printing things out and sticking them on the wall just to have them in front of my face as a reminder. Here's my favorite. It's an email I got years ago. Dear Scott, I just read your newsletter about Ripley's Believe It or Not, and I want to thank you for your website. I am 60 years old, and I was having quite a difficult time with my bowel movements. But now, thanks to you, I'm regular.